BigCommerce Store Launch Guide. Are you interested in setting up and launching an online store on BigCommerce, one of the world's top e-commerce platforms? If yeah, watch this guide to explore all of the settings you'll need in place before officially opening your store to the world. BigCommerce calls this phase Store Launch. In this video, we'll briefly touch on the different areas of setup, from creating users to store settings to the more technical aspects. Additionally, we'll include some resources for product documentation, best practices, and related services. Tune in now. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How are you doing today? I'm doing fantastic, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about the Store Launch Guide on BigCommerce. Let's first start with getting the lay of the land. Now, as you can see on the screen here, basically the BigCommerce store, you have different areas on BigCommerce for the BigCommerce experience. So you have the dashboard here showing you the store statistics, the store performance, orders. This is what you get when you after you sign in. So you have orders, products, customers, a storefront. You have the marketing functionality, as you can see on the screen here, analytics, channel manager, apps, and so on and so forth. So the control panel is where you will set up your store and manage your day-to-day operations, such as processing orders and updating inventory. You can log into your control panel at login.bigcommerce.com. And then you have the account dashboard. So this is where you can manage your billing details and purchase a domain or SSL certificate. This area is only accessible to the store owner, so you can get to it from the control panel or log in directly at manage.bigcommerce.com. And then you have the help center. BigCommerce has a wonderful help center that has knowledge base. They have different sections: knowledge base, community, news and updates, and ideas, as you can see on the screen. Now, this is where you can find user documentation, guides, and product news and updates. It's also home to the BigCommerce community, which is an open community of merchants and partners. And other areas that are very important is you have the app marketplace. This is where you can browse and search for apps. You have free and paid apps to extend your store's functionality. You also have the theme marketplace, which lets you browse storefront themes, free and paid also. You also have something called a partner directory. Through this, you can search through BigCommerce partners, whether you are seeking a developer, a designer, a marketing consultant, or something else. It really depends on you. How do you set up users? As you can see on the screen, you have user details, you have email, you can click to active. The preferred language is basically, it can be English or any other language. You have permission. So permissions allow you to restrict which areas of the administration area this user can access. So you can say sales staff and the person, so you just click on all the functionalities, the permissions you want to grant to that person. So manage orders, edit orders, add orders in this case. And if the person is a sales manager, you can actually, again, put the kind of permissions you want the person to have. Now, it is very important that, and I strongly recommend creating an account for each individual user. This is important because shared accounts can lead to problems with email verification, which is a required security feature on BigCommerce. So the email account used to create the store will default to the store owner, a role that comes with additional access to account details. So we strongly recommend that the store owner role belongs to the individual being billed for the store. And then you also have the store profile. This is where basic store information is entered, such as the store name, country, and country information, as you can see on the screen here. And these settings in turn affect other settings in your store. So you have, for example, the store country determines which payment gateways are available, and the store address appears on your invoice. All right. Now let's talk about how to add your catalog, how to add products and categories to your catalog. As you can see here, your products are arguably the most important part of your store, or next after payments, depending on your disposition, right? So here I want to talk to you about products. Now, what about the product category? Product category is the organizational unit that appears throughout your storefront and allows your customers to browse by product type. If you ever shopped online for clothing, you would see men, women, and children. Those are probably browsing categories you're familiar with. So, and we're kind of showing here, we're showing you an example here. Something that will help before you start is to collect a list of the products you intend to sell. You got to have this list beforehand, and you want to group them into 5 or so categories. So depending on how many products you have, you can divide them further into subcategories. So once you've done that, establishing categories in BigCommerce is a piece of cake. So I'm giving you an example here. As you can see on the screen here, you have shortcuts. You can import products via CSV file. So while the rest of this chapter will cover the manual creation of products, you may want to consider a shortcut. You can use a CSV file to create your products and categories. So with this method, you can create a table with your product details, including all of the settings, including categories, stock levels, product descriptions, and images. So if you do everything in Excel or CSV before bringing it to BigCommerce, it's a big help. How do you add your products? You will see a listing of your entire product catalog and some simple products preloaded in your store. That's what BigCommerce does. They are giving you some kind of help beforehand. So you want to recommend checking out that simple product to get an idea of what everything does. Products can be added individually within the control panel under Products, arrow Add. For a walkthrough of that, we'll go through another session to kind of show you. But here, you just want to click Add from either the product catalog or side navigation to create a new product. From here, you'll be able to add all of your products detail, including the product name, the categories, the default price, the weights, the heights, and the images. So if your product has variants, for instance, different versions, SKUs of the same product, or modifiers such as optional customizations or add-ons, you can choose those in the product options sections as variations and customizations, as you can see here on the screen. So option values, we have it here, and stock levels. Stock levels, also labeled throughout the control panel as inventory, refers to the quantity of each product or variant you have in stock. So if you choose, let's say, to track inventory, you can opt to be notified when your stock goes low and hide or disable purchasing of a product once it's out of stock. So once inventory tracking is enabled, you can quickly update stock levels via either of those methods. Now, if you need to update several products and don't feel comfortable running a product import, it's better to use the bulk edit feature. There is a bulk edit feature in the dashboard. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Keyword. We're also talking here about BigCommerce Store Launch Guide, and I'm going through a series. I'm giving you a step-by-step. Now I want to talk to you about how to set a foundation in terms of your back office settings. So BigCommerce handles the checkout, the shipping, and payment integrations for you, but you still need to figure out how you want them to function. So here I want to talk to you about a few things. Currency. So your currency settings allow you to select what currencies your shoppers can view prices in. So if you're using a compatible payment gateway, for example, you can even allow shoppers to purchase in currencies other than your store's default transaction currency. So if you're in the States, for instance, you can allow people from Japan, from Europe, from Africa to buy in their currency, but the payments get converted into US dollars when you receive the money. In terms of payments are another important part of setting up your store. So BigCommerce has made it very easy, and you can auto-enable PayPal powered by Braintree in eligible storefronts. So all you have to do is go into Store Setup, section Payments, and create or connect your Braintree account. And of course, all the 4 cards are possible: Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and Amex. Now, shipping manager, BigCommerce allows you to automate flat rate and real-time shipping quotes to be displayed to your shoppers at checkout. So to set up shipping, you'll need to fill out some settings in the shipping manager. So you have to go to Store Setup, Shipping, to determine which customers see which rates and shipping service option. So BigCommerce highly recommends that you fill out your product dimensions to ensure accurate charges. And you also have taxes, very important. So tax settings determine how tax is displayed and charged on your storefront. So depending on your location and business needs, you can set tax manually or using an automated tax service. Another thing you want to pay attention to is checkout. So here on the screen, you can see how the checkout page looks like. You can optimize that. BigCommerce makes it very easy. It gives you a one page, very nice, with nice settings, very clear with the customer, the email, the shipping, the billing, the payments, the amount to be billed. Everything is clear. You can see that. Review your store's checkout settings to confirm the behavior at checkout. Suits your business needs. For example, you can enable or disable guest checkout, shipping to multiple locations, and select default shipping options. Other features include persistent cart and Google address autocomplete. What about the store settings? So your store settings area contains various settings related to all aspects of your store. So from here, you have a lot of stuff you can do here, folks. You can configure various global settings such as site-wide HTTPS, SEO fields, search engine optimization fields, and security and privacy settings. You can also put your store in and out of down for maintenance mode. You can even add customers and customer groups. That's very important. Also, you can manage. You can actually apply discounts to certain customers, and by using automatic promotions, coupon promotions. You can use coupon codes, customer groups, and you can even apply bulk pricing. Let's now talk about the theme and design of your store, another important element. Now, first impression counts, and BigCommerce has a wide variety of themes that you can choose. So, and the themes are very professional themes suited for a wide range of industries. And to get there, you got to go to the theme marketplace. So filter for features such as large images, great layout, side category, menu, and catalog size, along with pricing. So there are free options, but some are paid. I think it just makes sense to pay for this because first impression counts, and you want to make sure that your customers are happy with the final results. So you can customize your theme. And make sure that you choose something that you like. And the great thing is you can always preview before launching. So all new stores on BigCommerce are automatically set to private. So only the store owner and any admin users can view the storefront until you're ready to open for business. So other people can view the storefront by entering in the preview code located in the control panel dashboard under the review and test your store section. Remember though that you can also create web pages using the YSIG editor or an HTML editor to use coding. So you can create web pages through a BigCommerce. You can have a logo. So your store's logo is the first thing the visitors will see each time they visit your storefront, right? We all agree with that. So you can upload your business existing logo or simply use your business name as a text logo in the store's header. That also works as well. So BigCommerce will display your logo on your store's printable invoices and packing slips to add brand recognition. What about social media? You have an integration to social media. So through BigCommerce, you can integrate your store. You can have it in sync with social media. So you can do so from the control panel. You can add links to social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Remember that all themes available in the theme marketplace include buttons designed to make it easy for visitors to find your business social media account. And you can control all of that through the page builder. You also can do something called account sign up. Now, account sign up, it makes it very easy for customers to create a storefront account that allows the visitors to understand what the store is about and how to shop or how to navigate the site. So how do you sign up? You basically go to the dashboard. Again, we're still in the dashboard, and you give customers a chance to register for an account or sign in, or you can allow customers to check out as a guest with the option to convert their guest account afterwards. And we're showing you this on the screen here, you can see. So customer checking out as a guest, you'll be able to save your details to create an account with us later on. So this is just a screenshot of how things looks like in BigCommerce. You also have the carousel. The carousel is the set of rotating banners on your store's homepage that can be used for various purposes, such as advertising products, showcasing content pages, or displaying promotions like free shipping. This is wonderful if you think about it. And this allows you to increase your exposure on the platform. BigCommerce allows you to have a blog. There is a built-in blog into the platform. You can also have email and gift certificates. So you can customize many of the emails sent automatically from your store, such as order confirmation, order invoice, order status updates, abandoned cart recovery, and gift certificate notifications. So this is something pretty good in terms of your brand reputation and your brand exposure on the platform. I also want to let's talk now about order fulfillment. So for folks, I've been talking to you about categories and products. I'm walking through step by step all the steps you need, all the things you need to launch your store on BigCommerce. So we talked about categories and products, how to set up an account yourself, back office settings, the theme and design. Now let's talk about order fulfillment. So once you have your products added and set up, it's important to prepare an order fulfillment strategy before launching your store. So here I want to talk to you about the common order statuses, order notifications, and product reviews. So I'm also going to touch on order refunds and returns. Now, order statuses. So you have what order statuses help you determine what actions need to be taken next for a particular order, right? So most orders created through the storefront will have something called awaiting fulfillment as their initial status. And then that you will get notified by the system that the customer has completed the checkout process and payment has been confirmed. So at this point, you will want to assemble the order by pulling products and preparing them for shipment. So once your package is ready, you can ship the order through the BigCommerce control panel or through a third-party app. So if you use, let's say, the native control panel to create your shipment, the order status at that point will automatically update to shipped or completed. You can also manually adjust if you want and customize order status labels to better reflect your business order fulfillment process. So you have the order notification. You have you will receive the order notification. That's for sure. That's for sure. And you will receive this through the email address listed under the store profile. This is the email which is also used as a default reply to email address on order confirmation emails. So you want to ensure that you can freely send and receive emails from this account without issue. So BigCommerce recommends using an email address containing your domain name to avoid email bounce backs and failed deliveries. So order invoices can be set to automatically forward to multiple email addresses. So this can be very helpful if you think about it. For instance, if you need to have, let's say, a copy delivered to an employee or warehouse for order fulfillment. If you want more info, go to store settings for details on setting up this feature. And you also have product reviews. That's another important element. Product reviews allow visitors or customers to submit feedback on your products and provides you with an opportunity to follow up with any customer questions or concerns. You can use the built-in comment system in the control panel or use a third-party app. That's totally up to you. Now, if you are migrating from an existing store, the free product review importer and exporter app allows you to use a CSV file to import and export your current product reviews so you don't lose valuable testimonials. Now let's talk about refunds and returns. Life is not always easy on BigCommerce or elsewhere, so you're going to have refunds and returns. You can process those. You can process refunds directly from the BigCommerce control panel for many payment gateways, making it easy to keep track of all order history events in one place. So while processing a refund for a customer, you'll be able to view their return rates, allowing you to proactively detect and assess their return risk and the potential exploitation of your returns policy. One thing that's very important is that there is a built-in return system that you can enable directly from the control panel. So once you activate that, customers will be able to submit return requests from their storefront account when logged in. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're all still having a conversation about launching a store in BigCommerce, and today I'm giving you the step-by-step, but now let's talk about the technical settings. Now, let's talk about the domain. So by default, your store's domain will use the .mybigcommerce.com subdomain. Once you have selected a paid plan, you'll be able to use a custom domain name for your storefront. Now, the fastest way to apply a new domain is through purchasing it from BigCommerce, as it requires the least amount of setup. You can use domains purchased from a third-party registrar. However, you'll need to take an additional step to point your domain to the store before adding it to the store. For detailed information on purchasing and applying a domain to your store, you want to go to BigCommerce and look for the purchasing a domain section. Now, I recommend doing some research before deciding on a domain name, as it will have as much impact as your business name for new and returning customers. You also want to think about one thing. You want to use URL redirects to minimize any negative SEO impact if you are applying a domain name that has been used previously on another site. You also want to think about the SSL certificates. Those are issued by a trusted third party to verify that secured websites are properly encrypted and all information provided remains private. So stores without a custom domain use BigCommerce's shared SSL certificate by default to ensure that their secure pages are protected. What about email? So you need to set up business email accounts. This is a vital step in setting up your store. So you can set up email forwarding for your domain, or use a third-party email provider for a full range of email features. Now, BigCommerce has a section called Email in BigCommerce, where you can get more details on setting up your desired email configuration. You have to think about the DNS settings. Now, again, folks, I'm just walking you through this very quickly because some people are not interested in the technical part, but it's important to know. If you have purchased a domain directly from BigCommerce through the control panel, it will be pointed and applied to your store automatically. Now, if you are using a domain purchased from a third-party registrar, such as GoDaddy.com, for instance, you'll need to point to the domain from your registrar and apply the domain to your store from the control panel. This final step will update the domain name on your store. What about Google Analytics? Now, you have a store. It's very important that store attract visitors. You also want to make sure the store is SEO enabled, can draw traffic. So Google Analytics will come into play. This is a powerful free analytics tool for tracking visitors and conversions on your store that you can use to gain valuable insights on your customers and visitors. So before setting up Google Analytics, you'll need to create a Google account and verify your domain if you haven't already done so. So once you have verified your domain, I recommend submitting your sitemap to Google and other search engines like Bing, which act as a request for them to crawl and index your site. Once indexed, your site will appear in search results. We have covered this topic of submitting a sitemap to Google in another show. You might want to double check that in our section of the SEO tips and tricks. And once you have done that, once you have Google Analytics set up and are using Google Ads, you can enable conversion tracking for your paid listing in Google search results to trace visitor journeys through your site and see how your ad campaigns are performing. Now, in terms of having campaign performing, it's also very important to look at a few other steps, especially the final step before you launch the store. If you have been following along with the setup steps that I've been talking to you so far, your store will be almost ready to open its doors. Here is a checklist you can use to double check that you have completed all of the necessary tasks before launching. So make a testing order or two. So before launching your store, you should place a test order to ensure that the checkout is working as intended. and to gain valuable insights into the storefront customer experience. So this will allow you to make sure that your shipping and tax settings are properly set up and enabled, and your payment gateways are accepting payments. So you can use the BigCommerce tax payment gateway to process a tax order without charging a credit card. But you also want to create tax orders for your payment gateway using real transactions. You can refund the amount afterwards. So you have here, you see the dashboard here. So you also need to take your store out of maintenance. So once you test orders, you want to take your store out of maintenance and see how it looks like. So once you've completed your testing and made any final adjustments, it's time to launch your store. In other words, you take it out of maintenance and you show it to the entire world. So with a single click in store settings, you can switch your store from being down for maintenance to open, allowing the public to visit the store, view products, and make orders. So we have here a simple store that you can see. It looks very nice. And next step here is you need to start running the business. This is the fun part, but also the hard part, right? So once you have your essential store settings and processes set up, it's time to focus on what? On your order fulfillment workflow. So you want to make sure that you can take orders, and you want to use the e-commerce analytics with all the valuable insights in identifying order trains and shipping your marketing campaigns and merchandising strategies from visitor and customer data. So along with taking a closer look at your visitors and customers, it is also important to start early on building your search engine optimization, your search engine page rankings, and maintaining your SEO presence. We already talked about that earlier when I mentioned Google Analytics, but you have to do this for real now. You have to start the process in earnest now. So we have covered, again, the topic of SEO in various other shows. You might want to go into our database of shows and read about that. We covered the fundamentals of SEO strategy, using techniques such as link building and using keyword-rich content. So you also want to pay attention to another thing, is that now that your store is live, you need to run it as professionally as possible. You have to be very careful in terms of your image, in terms of your store image, and make sure that you are constantly talking to your customers, and again, being a customer-centric store. All right, folks, thank you so much for listening to this conversation. This was a short guide into BigCommerce, how to launch a store. I hope you appreciated it. I spoke to you about 7 things, so give you a general idea of how to get into a BigCommerce, how to start a BigCommerce store. Talk to you about categories and products. Talk to you about back office settings, the theme and design, the order fulfillment, the technical settings, and finally now talking to you about the final settings, the final step. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.